Hello everyone and welcome to this pre-recorded VOD for UKSG. My name is Sion and I'm a Shin Megami Tensei speedrunner, and for those that don't know Shin Megami Tensei, it is a series from which Persona has become a spin-off, so maybe that will give more of an idea what it is. It is an RPG series that many of its games are Japan exclusive, including the one that I'll be running today. Today I'll be running Shin Megami Tensei 1, the GBA version, a category that I've actually come up with the help of other runners relatively recently. And without further ado, I will just be setting up the options which we need to do for the run, which is message speed and battle message speed fast, no battle effects, and making sure that our recover is only magic. And we'll get started. So 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Shin Megami Tensei 1. It is the first of the series, and the first with the name Shin Megami Tensei, the first of the series that is not based on a novel, and one of the first games that was a completely original story published by Atlas. As you can see, this is a first-person dungeon crawler, so most of the game will look exactly like this, a bunch of corridors that we'll be walking through, except the overworld map, in which it's more of a 2D map that you'll actually be able to tell where I'm going. First things that we do is we name our characters and assign some points. This is one of those old school RPG styles of games where you get to put a bunch of stats right away to the characters that you get. You don't actually get to customize them much more beyond that. And we are introduced to our main characters, which is the law hero, the guy that I called A, which is the character that we're playing with through the entire game. We have the Law Hero, which is the guy that was on the cross, and the Chaos Hero, which is that guy that was under that demon. I guess I can explain our stat assignments right away. For our main guy, we'll put all our points into speed because we want him to be very fast and run away from random encounters, of which we'll see many, as you might imagine with an RPG. For our Law guy, we put some points into speed so it can help us with running away, and points into magic so he gets very strong, and Chaos Hero is all magic. So that sequence that we saw where we saw the characters was actually a dream that our main characters was having, where he was told that the actions that he will do in the near future will influence the future of the world. And he's also introduced to the two other characters that will also help shape the world, which are the Law Hero and the Chaos Hero, or B and G guys. The reason why I call them B and G, as you might imagine, is just so that it's very fast, and that way I can get through that screen as quickly as possible. And as soon as we wake up, our mother asks us to go and grab some coffee, and warns us that weird things have been happening in our neighborhood of Kishijoji, and that weird, like, people have spotted things that look like demons and whatnot, so we have to be careful. And as we go into the arcade, we do in fact meet, I already called it G, it's gonna have to be F. We do in fact get attacked by a demon, so we just go back home, and we have another one of these dream sequences where instead now we're asked to help this woman. This is the heroine, and she also gets some points into magic and into speed. That's our early point assignments are going to be magic and speed. So once again, we head out. We are asked not to go to this park called Inokashira Park, but we kind of have to go there to do some shopping, so off we go. And we meet this man that will actually astral project us into this building to test how strong we are and if we're ready to face what's coming. Because in this building there's actually totally not a demon doctor that's opening a portal for more demons to come into our world. And it's kind of a lot of the plots of the Shin Megami Tensei games. The world was normal, and then someone invited demons into our world, and now there's just demons everywhere. So this fight will end after a turn, so all we do is auto. This gives us a first glance into what the battle mechanics of this game are. As you can see, we have this first-person perspective the entire time, and the characters can choose to fight, to talk, to run away, or to auto. And auto just repeats the actions that were previously set in the turn before, and I'll be doing that a lot because it makes battles go very fast, and is by far my preferred method of getting through these fights. That way we don't have to like skip all the text and be mashing the entire time. As I've mentioned before, this is the GBA version of this game. This was the last port, well, that's actually not true, but The last port, excluding the iOS version, which was a port of this version, but the last remake of this game. And people are still to this day awaiting a new one, which I highly doubt will ever happen. Some people say that this is the best version because it has the most content, and that segues perfectly into explaining what this category is. So all visionary items is a new category that collects all these items called visionary items, which are items that have extra cutscenes and that you can watch outside of the game. So when you exit the game, there's this mode called A mode DDS where you can see your compendium and you can watch the cutscenes from the visionary items. There's a total of 33 items, and we'll be collecting all of them. In order to do so, we're gonna have to beat both the law and the chaos ending, which I'll soon explain what those are. First, we gotta face our first boss fight. This doctor that was kind of running this hospital and doing lobotomies on everyone that was caught interacting with the demon. Well, it was actually a demon, so we defeat the demon very quickly so we can get out of the hospital. So this game has 3 endings: the law ending, the chaos ending, and the neutral ending. You get to choose which of the factions of this world that you agree with more, and get whichever ending you think is the most fitting. For this category, in order for some items to spawn, you actually need to... where am I going? You actually need to complete certain endings. So some items will only spawn after you've completed the law ending, some will only spawn after you've completed the chaos ending, some only spawn while you're neutral aligns. So the way we'll do it is we'll go through the game as if we were doing a law ending run, which is one of the categories of this game. Then we'll load back a split save, which is allowed for this category. We're going to complete the chaos ending, and then we'll load back the save again. We're gonna go through the neutral ending but not actually complete it, and then we're gonna have to do some other more things in order to collect the other items that were a bit further back from the split save that we still need to collect, but that were dependent on the chaos ending. So now we're gonna head back home. The guy that we collected at the arcade was a chaos hero, the other guy from our dream. He was part of this gang that is just kind of bullying him all the time, so he was like, okay, I'm done with this. And there you go, our mother actually got eaten by a demon while we were away, so that's a bit unfortunate. And we defeated her very easily with one of these items that we purchased, and I guess this is a good time for me to explain the items. So there's some items in this game that are attack items, and the one that we'll be using the most is called a Holy Shaft in this version, also known as a Hamaya in the Japanese version. So if you see me mention it as Hamaya, that's why. And that was the first of the visionary items, the Bloody Apron. These items cast almighty damage, and the damage is proportional to your magic stat. So, well, you saw how much magic points we assigned early into the game. That's why that's why we're doing so much damage and just kind of breezing through all these fights. So now we got our dog, and we actually need to recruit a demon because we need to fuse our dog. So I'm gonna see if I can get one outside. I'm gonna get about 9 of these. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna already head into the Echo building, which is the next dungeon that we need to go to, and see if I can get a demon there. That is one that will work. I don't have eyes on. Okay, he calmed down. So this is a good time for me to introduce one of the main mechanics of this game. So you can kind of think of this game as a monster collection game, even though it's not quite what it is. But the demons are certainly your companions, so to say. In this game, different from other of these monster collection games, like for example Pokemon, that is the common one that people talk about, instead of throwing a Pokeball or whatever, point the ring at the sky like in Dragon Quest Monsters, you actually have to negotiate with the demons. So you are talking to them and trying to convince them that they would be better off joining, even though they'll be enslaved as demons, basically. And they are really not easily persuadable, so you have to really try. And we'll be recruiting 6 demons throughout this run, which will be Goblin. Goblin's a very important one. Kobold can be one of them, so I'm actually going to talk to this Kobold again. Well, never mind. Kobold or Jack Frost, Pyrojack, Goblin, Dryad, and Azumi. And we get all of these demons so we can do so we can later fuse the demons into a better one. And yeah, that's about it. In the early game, they're quite useful. It's always useful to have some extra demons that just do some extra damage, because we're not very strong early game. You don't really grind in the speedrun at all. You stay under level the entire time so that you get more EXP from boss fights, and that way you jump a lot of levels in one go. However, that does mean that some of the boss fights are quite dangerous. This one is usually okay, so we'll see how it goes. We're just going to be throwing 2 Holy Shafts with Chaos Hero and Law Hero. That should be okay. And now we auto. And there you go, that is the Omen. So I guess we were ready to defeat the Doctor that was in the Echo Building. Put some points into agility for Law Hero. He needs to be fast for some of the upcoming fights. And for Chaos Hero, we'll continue to put our points into magic, because we want him to reach 35 magic in order to unlock the spell called Estoma. Now, what you see here is a terminal. This is one of the places where we can save the game and teleport in between areas. It's just our fast travel system. This game does not let you save everywhere. It'd be quite different if it did. But quite useful. Especially for this category, especially it will be useful to have more save slots. But anyways, we transferred to a completely different section of Tokyo now, to the Shinjuku area. As you can see, this is actually based on real-life Tokyo, which is why all the areas have the same names as real-life areas in Tokyo. And in this lab, we'll just get out of here and go into Shinjuku, which is an area that is right now is kind of split between 2 factions. One of the factions is Goto's alliance, so to say, which wants to use demons in order to strengthen Japanese army forces and to make Japan more of an independent country. And the other faction is the American faction of the American embassy that is very doubtful of Goto's intentions and does not trust him, and therefore wants to remove his demons and yeah. And opposite to both of these factions, we have the Resistance, which is led by the Heroine, and they basically think that both of them are suspicious and therefore would like to put a stop to both of them. And that is who we'll initially align with ourselves with. We are currently on our way to go and talk to the leader of the Resistance in this Shinjuku Mall, and there's Pyrojack. In the meantime, we do have to recruit demons. Nice. That's quite a dangerous encounter with 4 of them. Pyrojack has some strong attacks. Imp, that's another one. If you're wondering how these negotiations go, they can be quite unpredictable, but there is somewhat of a pattern to the responses of these demons, especially if you're always recruiting the same ones. That is some dialogue options that go over better than some other ones, but it's still quite unpredictable. That is probably one of the most RNG heavy moments of this. Why do you have to be 4 years? That is really not good. Say name. Man, come on, are you serious? So this is like one of the encounters that you really don't want to see in this run. Oh, thank god, I escaped. Usually you have like no chance of escaping from it. Fornius is an encounter that can absolutely kill you. It has killed many in Marathon Run. And even if you kill them, which you can, it takes a while, but you can. They give so much more EXP because they're so much higher level than you that it will actually mess up my EXP route completely. So in that scenario, all I wanted was to be able to run away. So I'm really glad I managed to. Anyways, we talked to the leader of the resistance, but she got kidnapped by this other demon or woman called Lilith. Is it Lilith? No, I don't remember her human name. But anyways, yeah, she kidnapped her. So we have to go and rescue her because she's now planned to be publicly executed in the Tokyo government building. That's not very nice. So we're going to try and prevent that from happening. First and foremost, we're going to heal our characters just a little bit. I need to buy 3 of these holy water items. These are some attack items like the ones we bought earlier in the game, but these ones actually cast Hama damage, which is light damage, and light damage can instantly kill demons that are weak to it. Focusing for a moment with these negotiations, these demons can be quite relentless. Keeps asking for items. I don't have any items. Okay. We got Jack Frost, that's nice. We have 2 demons now. We still need quite a few of them, but it's okay. Talk to this resistance member, which tells us where the heroine is, so now we can actually head to the Tokyo government building to prevent the public execution. What is it? Firejack. Right, here we go. So the public execution is kind of just like a gauntlet of demons. There will be 4 fights back to back. We just have to survive them. We're going to be using Hamayas to kill a lot of these demons, as well as Maragi, which is an AoE fire attack from our Chaos Hero. And most of these characters have so much points into magic that they will just instantly kill everything. At this point, we can start putting more points into magic for the law hero, and more points into magic for the chaos hero. That's nice. That's unfortunate. Couldn't stop auto on time, so I used 1 extra item, but that should be okay. Alright. We are done with this fight. This fight can be a little dangerous, surprisingly. All these demons hit quite hard if you wet them. So we just really want to kill them first turn, not even give them a chance. Alright. As the heroine said, she asked us to go and meet her back in Shinjuku. There is one thing we need to do first. We have to stop by this little house where Ozawa, who's actually the leader of the gang that was bullying Chaos Hero, resides, and we have to go and defeat him. He's also a devil summoner, so we're going to be doing a little demon fight. And this is more than anything to make sure that Chaos Hero reaches level 13 and learns the spell Estoma. which is a very important spell. Oh, I got a life stone. That's great. I love life stones. Right. Here we're going to be using one of those holy waters that I mentioned previously, and also using Agilao just as a backup. Just on the very low chance that the holy water missed. I've never seen it missed, but that does not mean that it wouldn't happen. So now Chaos Hero has learned Estoma, and Estoma is basically a spell that makes all random encounters disappear. And as you might imagine, that makes a big difference when you're going through a dungeon and you have such a high encounter rate. I'm gonna have to exit briefly so that I can make sure the full moon goes away. We can't talk to demons during a full moon, and I still need to recruit some, so get through that. Now I kinda can get a Gamijin. I don't love getting a Gamijin, but I can kinda get a Gamijin. That is an option. Since I hadn't gotten Imp, Gamijin is a replacement. So now I still need Goblin. Oh, there's Goblin. I don't have a bead. I do have a lifestone. Nice. Now I just need Dryad, and that should be most of the recruitments. Now I don't quite need Imp anymore. Just Dryad. She keeps asking for gems. Gems are these very special items that you can only get on specific chests, so... Well, that's not true, you can get them as drops from random encounters, but you don't do enough random encounter fights in the speedrun to basically ever get them. So you really don't want to give them away from demons. Okay. We got the Dryad, so we can proceed with the rest of the game. So, first of all, we're going to be using Estoma. We're going to be removing the equipment from Chaos Hero because he has quite good equipment, and we want to give it to our main guy. And the reason for that is that we're actually parting ways with the Law Hero and the Chaos Hero for just temporarily. We will. They kind of just don't want much to do with us for now. They just want to go off and do their own things. And that's okay. We're gonna get the heroine into our party very soon. Before we do that though, I need to go and make the first of our split saves. So we're going to be saving on the first slot, and I will be loading back the save when I've completed both the Law and the Chaos Hero endings. Sorry, the Chaos Hero, the Chaos endings. There we go, meet the heroine. And she joins our squad. She also has an ID card, which we needed in order to go and meet Goto and the American ambassador that I mentioned previously. So we're gonna go and do that and see what they have to say for themselves. And then make a decision. Who do we want to support? I know who we're going to support because we always support the same one in the speedrun. We kind of just do that in order to pick and choose which boss fights we want to do, as those differ depending on which ending you're doing. But so first we go into the Goto headquarters, which is the Japanese general. You have to collect this gem from this floor. I went too far. Ah, dropped my input. There is one demon that I still need to recruit here, so I have a tendency to forget to recruit it, so I'm gonna see if I can get him on the way. That is Azumi, that is our last recruit for this section. We're gonna need one, but that is later. And so we go and talk to Goto. So you might, I guess I hadn't really mentioned this, but you might notice that the game is in English. This is because of an English patch that came out about 3 years ago, which happens to not be much slower than the Japanese version, thankfully. This is allowed on the leaderboards, so for, you know, making it easier on the viewers, I've switched completely to running in English. I had done runs in Japanese previously, but I haven't really noticed much of a difference in speed. Compared to, for example, the SFC version or the SNES version, which is considerably slower with the English patch, so you are kind of forced to run it in Japanese. So the current versions of this game that are speedrun, it's full moon, I gotta go out. Not my best move. Okay, never mind, it's just one step. You know what, I'll take it, I'll take you here. I'll just get through it here. Okay, there you go. Ah, there you go, Azumi. Perfectly manipped. So as I was saying, the current versions that are run in this game are the SNES version, the PlayStation 1 version, and the GBA version, though I don't exactly have a lot of competition on the GBA version. As of now, at least. And the SNES version is the only version that you kind of really have to run in Japanese. The PlayStation 1 version, thankfully, has also gotten an English patch, which is quite fast, in fact faster than the Japanese version, so that's become the de facto category that people run. All of these versions of the game have slight differences. For example, in this one, they've kind of tinkered with Estoma, so that there's still some encounters that can show up. In the PlayStation 1 version, not Jack Frost. In the PlayStation 1 version, you have you still have the same type of movement, but movement slightly different. It's like a bit more slidey, things like that. But depending on which version you run, you will see differences. So now we talk to the American ambassador Thorman, and we will not agree with his policies. We'll actually side with Goto in order to avoid this later boss fight that's quite annoying. And it turns out that he's actually Thor. So our strategy for this game, for most of these fights, is to, first of all, Goblin, our best friend Goblin, has a lot of... Ooh, that is rough. That is quite an unusual first start, let me tell you. Okay, he died. Whew. I've never died to this fight. I am not used to being scared of that fight. Anyways, our best friend Goblin has a lot of buff spells. Tarukaja and Makakaja are two ones that you'll see me mention a lot. Tarukaja buffs your physical damage and Makakaja buffs your magical damage. And a lot of the boss fights are weak to spells like electric and ice spells, which stun them for a turn if they get hit with them before they attack. So most of the strategies involve stunning the boss fights before they can land an attack on you and making sure that you don't get hit because of that. And surprising to many people, Thor is actually weak to electricity in this game, so we can just paralyze him, and yeah, that's how the fight goes. It went quite fast, as you saw. Especially once you use auto, it's over before you see it. In both ways. You also die before you notice, before like you're just dead. So yeah, Thor kind of didn't really care that we sided with Goto, because he already had a bunch of ICBMs pointed to Tokyo, so he just decided to launch them. So Tokyo's just gonna blow up now. You can try to run away, but you kinda can't outrun a bunch of bombs. So I'd rather just sit here and accept whatever will happen. So the heroine actually saves us. She uses Traport and teleports us to this realm that's in between the real world and the demon world called Kumo Shinkai. And the host of Kumo Shinkai, Alonso, tells us that not only us, but also our friends Vlahir and Chaos Hero got teleported here, so we can go and reunite with them. That's what we're going to do. There's our Chaos Hero, and this dungeon is one of the main reasons why we like having a Stoma. At this point, demons start getting a little higher level than us. Not so higher level that we can't quite run away from them, but definitely that if we have Vlahir and Chaos Hero with us, which bring down the party speed average, which is actually what makes a difference in being able to run away from fights. That if you have them in the party, then it starts getting difficult to run away from the fights. So just avoiding them altogether is the better option. So not only the Vlahir and Chaos Hero got here, but also all our demons, so they also can just kind of spread about the dungeon. So we can also collect them on our way. So now anyone who asks us for a favor, there's apparently a Soma fountain, and for those that aren't familiar with Somas in this game, there are these very powerful healing items that completely recover a character's HP and MP. And there's apparently a Soma fountain in this dungeon, so he asked us to go and collect some Soma for him. This is usually a test of strength and endurance, because you'll be putting up with a lot of random encounters, but as you can see, that is not something that we have to deal with because we have a Stoma. And this is where the magic of a Stoma kind of comes in. At this point in the game, you're really not supposed to have a Stoma, because as far as we know, the first demon that has a Stoma is Kusanada Hime, which is a demon that we will be fusing, but she's level 28. And the way that demon fusing works is that you can't fuse demons that are higher level than you. So Chaos Hero getting a Stoma is quite useful, and the only way you can really do that is if you put all his points into magic, which makes him very squishy to any type of attack. It's really not a strategy that the devs exactly intended for people to do, since a Stoma on a human character is considered a very late game spell. But oh well, we have ways of bypassing it, so we will. So yeah, we got the Soma. He asked us to go and get another one, so we went and got another one, and now we're going to save, because our next challenge actually involves a Vlahir doing the fight by himself, and that's a little dangerous. So our top save slot here is going to be my safety saves for the marathon, and the bottom two ones will be the split saves that I'll have to load back in order to collect all the items. So now we're sent off. We're going to collect some more of the demons. Actually got quite an unusual party in this run. It's very rare that I get Gamijin and Jack Frost. It's been forever since I've gotten Gamijin, in fact. But that doesn't really matter. Gamijin works just as well as Imp, which is the one I usually get. Now we get Dryad. And this is one of the boss fights that we would have needed to do if we'd aligned ourselves with Thor, or with neither, which is also an option. You could have simply not liked either of them and fought both. But we decided to align ourselves with Thor, so we don't actually have to do Blue Phantom. And Blue Phantom is a very dangerous boss fight, so I'm very relieved to not have to do it. Gonna get our boy Azumi. And now over here we're actually gonna have to do this boss fight. So I'm going to summon Azumi, a very important demon, as Azumi will be stunning the demon. And this boss fight is quite dangerous because Azumi and Red Phantom have both the same agility stat, so they can speed tie very easily. I'm going to actually give it one turn. I'm going to be buffing our magic with Makakaja and using Agilao. Now we can just hope for the best. That's a good first turn. Now we're going to be throwing our Holy Shafts. You might have noticed that I put some points earlier into magic. That's because our hero has to be throwing the Hames now. Okay, that's not bad. That's could be worse. Could be worse. There you go. Oh, that's a perfect Red Phantom fight. So nothing to worry there. Or well, if it always went this way. I'm gonna have to return all the demons because for some reason after doing this fight, a stoma kind of wears out. So we don't want any demons that can potentially prevent us from running away from boss fights, not from boss fights, from enemy encounters, to be in the party. As you know, we might get a random encounter just like this. And not only that, but then like as soon as we can't run away, the demons get a free turn. So that's a free turn in which they can hit us and kill us, or hit any of our demons, and it's just a whole mess. As Azumi, you can actually talk to Azumi, because we have one. I'm gonna heal up the party. I'm going to be summoning our demons again. Pyrojack and Azumi and Goblin. I'm going to talk to Ennowonzo again to get my friends back. Use a stoma, and I'm going to save. Saving here is very important because the upcoming boss fight is just as unfair as the previous one. Well, actually that's not true, it's more unfair than the previous one. So our likelihood of dying here is not high, but definitely not low. So we'll see how it goes. So we're actually going to be fighting the guardians that we were just talking to, Zenki and Goki, as they want to test us to see if we're strong enough to go back into the real world. The real world has changed quite a lot since the last time we were there. It's been 30 years, in fact, since the ICBMs hit Tokyo, and now it's completely ravaged by demons. So we're going to just be have our strength tested. Ooh, the dodge is kind of annoying. It's worse. Okay. Oh, that's very nice. That is okay. That is okay. I guess I haven't mentioned exactly why I put point into intelligence. So intelligence is a very interesting stat in this game, where not only does it increase your magic output, which isn't quite relevant for the main hero because he never learns any magic spells, but it also increases our accuracy. So if you have, for example, a gun that has bullets that cast a status effect, by having a higher intelligence status, you have a higher likelihood of being able to cast a status effect. Or by throwing an item, for example, one of those holy waters that I threw earlier, if you have if you have a higher intelligence stat, then if you're throwing it against a demon that's way higher level than you have a higher chance of hitting. Something like that. And we rely on those strategies quite a lot, so we end up with a pretty high intelligence stat very early into the game. So this is Ravaged Tokyo. As you can see, it's the landscape has looked better than before. We're actually back in Shinjuku. This will be the same dungeon as the one we were in. Going to exchange one of our emeralds in this in this rag store for a core shield, which is an item that we'll need later. And first things first, we're talking to that old man, and he explained to us that the currency that we had actually doesn't exist anymore. So Japan doesn't deal with yen anymore, it deals with maka. So we actually have to get some money, as all our money has been rendered completely useless. So we sell some of the weapons that we gathered earlier. We have to buy this Hinraya item, which is needed for story progression. And we're going to be talking to this old man in this bar shop who used to collect yen bills and give him all our old yen bills for real money, real maka. And yeah, as we talk to the NPCs here, we learn that this Shinjuku area is now actually being controlled by Ozawa, that guy from earlier that we battled in the disco, that was the leader of the gang that Chaos Hero was part of and everything. And well, Chaos Hero is not happy at all to learn about that, as he has his own personal beef with him. And he's also actually enforcing his own private police to make sure that everyone is kept under control, and kind of has his little dictatorship city over here. And we don't like that, so we're going to try and talk to him and, you know, see if he can stop. As you might imagine, he's not exactly easily convinced. On the way back, we're actually gonna grab one of our first visionary items that's in a chest. It's not quite true because the knob ball, which is like 10 minutes into the run, is also in a chest. But you don't see that many items that have spawned at this point in the game. A lot of them that are in chests only spawn in NG+. Which isn't quite a thing in this game, but it is in some way. So the reason why we can do split saves in order to collect all the visionary items is that the items aren't actually bound to a single save file. They are bound to your cartridge. So you can beat the game over and over and actually have different save files in which, you know, this one you do chaos ending, this one you do neutral ending, and you end up having all the items. So NG+ isn't actually something that exists in this game, because there's no way to carry over any items or demons from the previous save file. You can call the shaker. I'm just gonna go back to the entrance just because I actually want to go over here to the Messiah Church because I want to heal. This has to do with my alignments. So there's a lot of demons that can only be summoned if you're a specific alignment, and that there's a lot of demons that you can only recruit if you're a specific alignment. And there is going to be a demon in the very near future that you need to be at least neutral in order to recruit, which will be required for an upcoming fusion. And so right now we're Chaos because we aligned ourselves with Goto, and he's part of the Chaos alignment, I guess. And so right now I need to try and adjust my alignment to be at least at the edge of neutral in order to be able to do that recruitment. So basically what's happening right now is that we talked to Ozawa. He kind of didn't recognize, just attacked us with his demon called Takemi Nakata. And Chaos here was not at all happy to have been so easily defeated, because we had to retreat, otherwise we'd just die there. So he's like, you know what, I'm gonna fuse myself with a demon. And everyone's like, that's a terrible idea. But he goes through anyways and steals one of my demons and fuses himself. So he gets really strong now, and we're gonna go and fight Ozawa. And because auto stays over from the previous fight, I'll just auto. Should be fine. I even got a free turn, that's perfect. That did not go as well as usual. That actually did not go very well. But it doesn't matter, we got through. Someone missed something. Because usually that goes a little better. But that's fine, no, we won. He dies very easily. And then we're asked if we want to kill Ozawa, and we say no, because of our alignment, actually, it's not for any other reason. But Chaos Hero doesn't like hearing that at all. And he kind of just says that we're cowards and we're not strong enough for him now because he's liberated and powerful with his new demon powers. And leaves. And so we lose Chaos Hero from our party. And that's okay, I guess. We just move on now. There is another city that we need to head to. So we're just gonna kinda do that. I'm actually gonna stop by the Messiah Church again, since I need to heal my goblin anyways. And I'm still not... My alignments could still be better, so I think I could use it. There you go. A little bit of healing is always good for everyone. Ow. And off we go. I'm still Chaos, my god. So, in this very annoying section of the game, we are currently, well, we've had more money in the past, and we kind of need quite a bit of money now. And not only that, but we also need to recruit that one demon that I mentioned that we won't be able to recruit right now because I'm still Chaos aligned. So first of all, I need to go and fix my alignments. But I need money, and one of the ways to get money is by talking to demons. In one of the dialogue options, when we can ask them to join us, we can actually also ask for magnetite or for money. And now I'll be talking to a bunch of demons and asking for money. Not this one. You really can't get money from the robots. And as we do that, we're gonna head to Shibuya, which is our next dungeon. There's a fanatic. So these guys are really not gonna collaborate with us because I'm Chaos. But this is one of the ones that I might need to recruit. I basically need to recruit a human of the Messiah alignments. So I can get a fanatic or I can get a Temple Knight. See if I can heal some more. Okay, I'm neutral now. Okay, it's good. So I'm gonna get through this dungeon, and this is like a little, like some small headquarters of the Messiah Church, which I've mentioned the Messiah Church before, as well as the Gaian Church. I think they're the two shops that. Well, let me just focus for a second. Yes. Oh, he joined. Oh, that's so good. That is really good. Usually these guys are such a pain to join. I cannot stress this enough. So anyways, normally we've been to like 3 different types of shops. We actually haven't been to the Gaian Church yet. But there's 3 types of shops in this game. You have the Healer Church, you have the Messiah Church, and you have the Gaian Church. And these represent the 3 alignments of this game: neutral, law, and chaos. Well, here's my point. Well, the Messiah Church is like a big faction now in this world after the apocalypse. People usually tend to cling on to something, and people have clung on to the ideologies of the Messiah and the Gaian Church. And this is some of the headquarters of the Messiah Church, which believe that they have the reincarnation of the heroine. The heroine that saved us earlier, they believe that this woman is a reincarnation of her, but she's kind of in a bit of a pickle, because she has a demon inside of her head that's currently eating her mind, so she's about to become completely possessed. Why am I seeing so many of these guys? They're giving me a lot of money, so this is actually very nice. I'm completely done with money. I kind of can just go and fuse Kushinada Hime now. So yeah, very good money section. Usually these are a nightmare. But yeah, heroine, she has a demon in her mind. We have to go and rescue her. So we need to find someone that can go take us into her mind so we can fight the demon that's inside of her mind. We happen to know someone that can do that. There is actually a guy that's imprisoned in Shinjuku, where Ozawa was. That's the wrong place. And he can actually take us to inside of the heroine's mind. So we're gonna go and grab him, so that he can go and take us to her mind. But before we do that, there's a couple things that we need to do. We need to, number 1, fuse Kushinada Hime, because right now we are level 28, which means that we are high level enough to be able to fuse Kushinada Hime, which means we'll get a Stoma, which means that we're all going to be happy, because we don't have to deal with random encounters anymore. I was trying to get just a little bit more money, but okay, I guess I'm not going to get it. Right, Triad Fusion, we're going to get Pyro Jack, Triad Azim. And fuse Kushinada Hime. I think I accidentally went back to Chaos because I killed a lot of Fanatic guys, because there was like a little pop-up that said that she's not sim alignment than me. That is fine, I'll just go and heal at the healer and chop, and then my alignment will go back to normal. But that is funny that I killed so many Fanatic guys that I went back into Chaos. But yeah, and the second demon that we're going to need to fuse is the one that involves the human. So human fusions have a particular feature in that they result in a random outcome. And so for this random fusion, I'm actually trying to get this demon called Sylph, which is a special element demon that we will later fuse into a weapon. And not only that, and she's also very, very fast, so she's one of the reasons why we can even get through the next boss fight in the meantime, in the first place. The problem with random fusions is that they can take a while, because it's completely RNG how fast you can get the demon to spawn. So I'm just going to be enjoying the background music. Yeah. Oh my god, that was fast! This run is really good. This is actually quite a good run so far. Okay, well, isn't that nice to have a good Soul Fusion for once? So yeah, I need to go to the shop to fix my alignment. And then we can fuse our little demons. Sorry, we can summon all our newly acquired little demons. I'm gonna get some more money from her. Yay. And go on to fighting the demon. So, the demon in the heroine's mind, that is. I'm gonna buy 4 of these soul returns and about 20 of the... 20? That sounds like a lot. You know what? I'll take... 20 is fine. 20 is fine. We can do 20. 20 will be okay. In the meantime, we transfer over to Shinjuku. This is the reason why I bookmarked the terminal in the first place. So we can just kind of get around. And yeah, so we're gonna summon our demons. We're gonna put Sylph on the front. This is very important, and I'm saying this more as a reminder to myself than to anything else. Where... Damn it, I knew I shouldn't have gotten so many of them. Now I don't have enough money for Goblin. Well, that's fine. I can just sell the summon and get enough money. I don't really need Goblin for this upcoming fight. What was I saying? Right, where you put the demons influence the turn order. You don't, like, if you put a demon in the back, even if the demon's really fast, they might not go first because they're in the back of the party. So if I put Sylph in the back, there's absolutely zero chance that I'll be able to win the next boss fight. We talk to the Cycle Driver, and this actually makes one of the Visionary items spawn right here, which is the Black Mask. Obtain the Black Mask, and off we go. Back to Shibuya. So now here in Shibuya, I'm going to... Well, first of all, before I actually save, which I'll need to, I'm going to Estoma and go sell that item so I can get a bit more money so I can summon Goblin. Soma. Somas are good, but you can kind of get by without it. So even if you sell the Soma, it's not much of a problem. I'm not sure why I'm here. The Goblin's fine. Just need to summon Goblin. And now we save. So for this upcoming fight, we're actually going to be doing a suspended save before we head into the fight. So there is one item that spawns after you've done, like after you've completed any ending, rather in the heroine's mind. But this dungeon is kind of in a very uncomfortable place in the run, because as soon as you get the heroine, you can't go back into her mind naturally, so this dungeon is very limited. The first split save that we're going to do, the one that we're going to load back often to get the different endings, obviously already has the heroine, so we can't use that to go and grab this item. And the other one that we do, which is before the fights in that, you know, make Tokyo be an... Oh, I forgot to stop. That should be fine, she wrote right away. They make Tokyo be an apocalyptic nightmare that it is right now. I could get it, you know, after going back through Kombo Shinkai and, you know, doing all that stuff again, Zenkin Goki. But the thing is that in that in that my brain isn't working. In that save file, because we have to defeat both Goto and Thor, because we need the items from both of them, that puts us into neutral. And if we're neutral, we have to fight Blue Phantom. And Blue Phantom is really a bad fight. Like, I can't stress enough just how bad Blue Phantom is. It's bad enough that it made me reroute and try to use the suspended save feature that I just did. What I found out recently is that if I make a suspended save, which counts as a save that you're supposed to only be able to load back and then play through, it's like not actually a save that you're supposed to, that you can load back at any point, just one of those quick saves. If you make a suspended save and then you finish the game with another normal save, and then you load back the quick save, you can actually have the item spawn. And that's pretty big. I almost forgot to use them again. Because that means that we can avoid the entire Kongo Shinkai section and fighting Ozawa again, and just load back directly into here, which, you know, we have to juggle a little bit more in between when we get some other items, but, you know, being able to cut out those fights is pretty vital. It makes this run definitely a lot more pleasant, because basically right at the end of the game you have some of the most unpleasant boss fights. You're back, like you spend a good 2 hours of the game being very powerful because you're in late game and you have late game equipment, late game weapons, and you have to then, after all that, load back a save where you're still very weak, barely have any demons, barely have any weapons, and do one of the most RNG heavy fights. It just wasn't great. And talking about one of the most RNG heavy fights, we're about to do Arachne. And Arachne is a horrible fight. It's basically just a demon that's way too fast for its own good for this point in the game. So it goes fast, it goes first more often than not, and it has a lot of really unpleasant status effects that it can cast on us, like Bind and Sleep and Charm. And oh, that's good to get a first turn. And yeah, the trick for this fight is that we're just going to try and stun her every turn and throw Hamias with our Law Hero and hopefully win. She thankfully doesn't have that much HP. Come on. Oh! Okay, well, we got through. Goblin died, but you know, as goblins do sometimes, it's just life. Alright, we got through. We got through first try, that's very good. So, you know, Goblin is dead again. But I should have enough money to resummon him. So yeah, as you saw there for a second, my Law Hero was actually put to sleep. I got very lucky that Law Hero had done enough damage at that point that Arachne just died with Mazio. That is really lucky. Very happy to see that. So yeah, Arachne is the biggest run killer of all of the versions of SMT1. After you're through with Arachne, it's not like you're it's not like you're completely safe, but things get certainly much more pleasant after this. The likelihood of your run dying is way lower than ever. It's basically now only depending on the last boss fight, which is usually not horrible. Just walking back. And there you go. We've killed the demon and we've now rescued the heroine, which will be joining our party. And using some of the incenses that we collected on her. Incenses are just items that raise one stat. And using trap ports, which she thankfully has. As the name might imply, you kind of just teleport. I do have enough money to summon Goblin back. I will obviously need to revive him. No, that's the wrong one. Goblin. And there you go. Back to going outside. Alright, we're through with this dungeon. That's pretty big. Being out of Shibuya is always a relief for any Mega 10 runner. And we're off to the next one. So next up we have Roppongi. Roppongi, in Shinjuku we heard of Roppongi as being the city. It's very lively, that, you know, everyone in Shinjuku wanted to go to Roppongi. It's like, oh, everyone's living so well there. I wish I could just go there. We're just being enslaved here. It sucks. So we're going to go and see what's actually going on over here. First of all, we're going to save, bookmark the terminal so we can transfer back here, which we will need to do at some point. And as we arrive, and we meet this little girl called Alice, which, for anyone who's played any Persona or SMT games, you'll recognize as it's a very popular demon. Kind of spoiling that it's not a girl and it's actually a demon. You know, as we go around, we actually realize that this isn't a lively city at all. Everyone's actually a zombie. It's just a bunch of zombies that live here. There's no humans. And as we'll soon find out, it seems that Alice is actually asking both of her servants to turn everyone into zombies so they can stay with her forever. Because, you know, if you're a zombie, you don't die. You're just undead forever. So yeah, we're going to collect this item called the Glancing Pot, which lets us avoid a boss fight, an unwinnable boss fight, right away. And yeah, we're going to be meeting her in the 3rd floor as she asked us to do. So here's Count Red, one of the servants that, you know, she first asked for a Himuraya, which is one of the items that we bought earlier, so we just give it to her because we have one. And then she's like, oh, can you die for me? And we're like, no. So she asked Belial to kill us, but we have the Glancing Pot, so we just steal Belial. And then Yuriko shows up and asks for the Belial pot, but we're like, okay, fine, we don't really care. But as we are leaving, Count Black kidnaps Law Hero. And we have to try and go rescue him now. So who knows what might happen to Law Hero. Can't have anything bad happen to Law Hero. So this is Neburos. This is who Count Black actually is. This is another fight that we're just going to try and win by throwing more Habias, or holy shafts as they call them in this version. And we're just going to be stunning him with Mazio every turn. As long as Mazio doesn't miss, the fight will go well. As you can see, he missed there for a second, but we made it. Neburos can be a little dangerous because he has Mood On, which is an instant kill dark spell. It's basically the dark equivalent of the effect from the Holy Waters. And we are weak to it, so we can die. Thankfully that didn't happen, so we can just leave. Goblin has fallen once again, but that is simply the fate of the Goblin. Not much we can do about that. We don't necessarily need him for the next fight, so I'm not going to just be reviving him right away. While he also left, so that means that we lost Samarikarm, which is like a very powerful revival spell. So yeah, now we can proceed with the game. There was a barrier around Roppongi, which prevented us from being able to go through this corridor and head further into other sections of Tokyo through this great underground passage. Here we meet the spirit of Law Hero that has passed. asking us to go and deal with the situation at the police station, but we don't really need to do that, so we won't. What we're going to do is we're going to go into Ginza. We're going to save here in Ginza. And we're going to go further into Shinagawa, which is the actual headquarters of the Masayan Church. In this point of the game, we're going to be both hearing the side of the Masayan Church, talking directly to the leaders, the side of the Gaian Church, and see who we want to align ourselves with. First we have to go through this guy. He's kind of guarding the passage into Shinagawa, and he's a demon summoner. We're going to be fighting some of these demon summoners. They're literally users that use demons just like us. And this is one of the reasons why we get so many of these attack items. They just kind of send hordes of demons to us, but a lot of them are weak to Hama spells like these ones. So if we throw one of these Hama items, they all instantly die, as long as the item hits. We just need the item to hit, which is why we put so many points into intelligence. Right, this one we're actually going to be throwing 2 of the holy shafts. And there you go. There we go. We are now close to Shinagawa. Shinagawa is quite a big dungeon, but we'll get through it fairly quickly because we know where to go. We're going to be collecting some interesting items here, as you might imagine, because this is the headquarters of the Masayan Church. We'll be heading into the Masayan Church as well to buy some items. First of all, I'm just going to go into and bookmark this terminal. I'm going to go into here. Going to be healing the goblin that was no longer alive. I need to buy 5 of these. I'm going to go to the healer. They also have a healer. I'm going to buy some more holy shafts. It's fine. Have to collect this gem. I'll mention the purpose of the gems very soon. So here we're going to be collecting a weapon. This is actually a base sword that you can fuse demons into, like very specific demons. And one of the demons that we'll be fusing is Soph. Soph will very soon be fused into a weapon, which I think is a honorable way to go, be fused into a weapon. And now we are going to be talking to Wahiro. Or is he? So Wahiro just died, right? So apparently Wahiro got reincarnated as this messiah of the Masayan Church. So yeah, he was just kind of there now. But in the meantime, we have to fight another Devil Summoner over here on the 4th floor. This one will also defeat by just throwing a bunch of items. First demon is a new way, which is quite a weak demon, so we can just use Hamias. This one's weak to light, so we're going to use Soul Returns. And another one. Perfect. Alright. So the second Devil Summoner gives an item called a 4-door gem. I actually don't remember what it's called in this version. But this item lets us open the doors to the 4 Heavenly Kings of Tokyo that are holding up a barrier preventing any gods from falling to, like, from ascending or descending into this earth. And that is an item that we kind of just need to proceed with the game. Kind of just get to the end, so we need to make sure that the 4 Heavenly Kings are defeated in order to complete one of the endings, well, any of the endings. Alright, so you might have noticed that we met Chaos Hero on the way. He was kind of just asking us to not go over to this section, because if we do, he has to take us to Yama, who's the ruler of this Ikebukuroku region, and Yama is completely Chaos Aligned. He's just one of the demon lords of this area. But we needed to go this way, so now we're going to be judged. We're going to not accept his terms. His terms was for us to not use demons anymore, at least to fight for the law side. But we say no, so now we get arrested and get very much into the law alignment. So even though we're arrested, Chaos Hero, who still has a soft heart, frees us. So it's kind of like, just don't go into Ueno, dude, and that's exactly what we're headed towards. So we kind of have to go for it. For this dungeon, that is. So there's a boss fight coming up. We'll be summoning Goblin again. But I can save here and heal, so I'll be doing that. More for the free heal than anything, but this fight is not dangerous at all, but they do have a lot of HP, so if I happen to run out of attack items, it can get a little dangerous. Or like always, if one of the, like, if Mazio misses, since Mazio misses, the situation can get dangerous quickly. Now we just wait and see what happens. There you go. We won. Love to see that. At some point into Vitality at this point, we're both quite high level, so we just need to start having a bit more Vitality, a bit more HP. Our HP is quite low for this part of the game. And now we have to stop briefly by the second floor to collect another gem, a pearl. Right here, and then we leave. Going to bookmark the terminal. As we'll actually need to come back to this dungeon at least twice to fight Yama later. Right now we're too weak to fight Yama. Yama is like level 75. So we'd rather do that later. That being said, we're going to fight one of the first Heavenly Kings, which is like level 65. But that we kinda just need to. So Bishamonten is the first Heavenly King that we're going to fight. Bishamonten is weak to the attack items. This one, the light align attack item. So we're just going to be stunning him, and hopefully he just dies right away. There you go. That item can miss. That's the only danger of this fight. The item misses and both of the stun attacks miss. That's when it gets a little shady. But if neither of them miss, then this fight's okay. And now we're headed to Ueno, that one place that we were supposed to not go to. The Lord of Ueno is, well, is he even the Lord? Ueno is one of the headquarters of the Gaian Church. The true headquarters are Tokyo Destinyland, which we'll be heading to afterwards. But in order to get to Tokyo Destinyland, we have to go through Ueno because Ladon, who's one of the guardian demons, I guess you could call it, of this area, has an apple that we need to get to give to Cerberus, who's protecting the bridge that leads to Tokyo Destinyland. That's probably the better way to put it. So yeah, we're here. It's the terminal. I'm gonna save again. So right now, there's two things we need to do before we go and fight Ladon. First of all, we bought some Zionga stones, so we're going to move away from using Zionga or Mazio with the heroine or Sylph or whatever, and we're going to instead be using Zionga stones for one simple reason. You don't really miss if you use Zionga stones, so any danger of the attacks missing is completely removed if you do that. I'm going to be stopping also here from the Gaian Church. We're currently very low aligned, so we're gonna have to pay to even come in, but I want to heal Goblin. And that puts some points into Chaos, which is nice. As we want to still be, you know, not too far into law, because we're going to need to do the Chaos ending later. And so, one of the first things we need to do in this dungeon is we need to collect a ruby. That will be the last gem that we will need in order to fuse this weapon called the Hinokagutsushi. So the Hinokagutsushi is one of the better weapons of this game. And so as soon as we get it and fuse it, we're going to be very strong. A lot of the danger of the boss fights is completely removed by just how quickly we're going to kill them. And the way we fuse it is we're going to be needing 3 demons. Sylph, Undyne, and Salamander. And the way that you get the Undyne and Salamander... Oh man, I actually don't... Is this 3? It must be. Pearl. I've run this game for years and I still don't remember which gems you actually trade for the demons. But yeah, you can trade 3 gems for one of these element demons, which are demons that can be fused into weapons. And so that's how we get Undyne and Salamander, and now we're going to be fusing the Hinokagutsushi. That's the first sword. And the final fusion with the Salamander results into the Kagutsushi, as it's called in this game. I couldn't quite fit the entire name in the because of the character limit. So it became known as the Kagutsushi. There you go. I'm gonna fuse the sword. We're gonna equip it on our main guy. Just don't remember if I used so much, so just in case I'm gonna use it again. And now we head off to Lalon. So you might have noticed that one room where it kind of just looked like everyone turned off the light. They're called the dark rooms, and they're meant to be very disorienting, but in this version of the game they're kind of just dimly lit, so you can still see everything. In other versions, the floor is actually completely, basically invisible. So this is Ladon. As you can see, we're doing a lot of damage, so this fight is gonna go fairly quickly. The Hino Kagutsushi can hit 2 to 4 times, so not only does it deal a lot of damage just off of how strong it is, it's a 200 base power sword if I recall correctly, but also it can deal multiple hits. So it's the Kagutsushi is the soul of this run, and as soon as we've obtained it now, the run will be fairly simpler. So we got the golden apple as I mentioned earlier. It's the item that we need to be able to go through the Cerberus bridge. This Cerberus is in fact our dog that we fused in the beginning of the game. And yeah, but before we do that, I have to go and just stop by this house over here. This is actually a reward house. There's a bunch of these that pop up all throughout Tokyo after you've completed certain dungeons. Kind of just as a reward for our efforts into, you know, making Tokyo a bit more orderly again. And if you enter these houses at a specific moon cycle, where the moon cycle is at the top left corner of the screen, then you can get special rewards. And that one shows up if you go in at full moon. You get the wizard mask, which is a very strong cursed item. If you equip it, you get cursed, but it's like a really strong piece of equipment. But in this run, we kind of just sell it because it's also worth a lot of money. So this was our second Heavenly King. And off we go through the bridge. As you can see, because of the golden apple, Cerberus has come to his senses and he recognizes us. He's like, "Oh, you're my old owner from my previous life." So we get Cerberus to join us as well. That's nice. So now we're in TDL. This is actually where we're going to be doing our split save to be able to complete all the endings. Before we do that, we have to do a couple of things. So first of all, I'm going to have to buy one of these pentagrams, and I'm going to have to buy 6 amulets. Just about 6 of them. I'm going to go into the dungeon, and I'm going to sell the magician mask that we just got to buy some bullets that are only sold over here. Where is it? Magician mask. Find the bullets. Equip them, yes. Now I'm going to trap ports. Into Ginza. In Ginza we're going to buy a weapon. And now we're going to transfer to Shinagawa, where we're going to be buying some equipment. And then we go back to T. The reason why I'm doing all this now is because these are all things that I would have had to do every time I reloaded the save, and this way I only have to do it once. Sell, Dragon Elm, and Dragon Nail. And for you, I'm going to need the Crimson Helm. And can I still farm the Crimson Mail? The Crimson Gear, rather? Yes, I can. Perfect. Just barely, but I can. Now, Trieste will put us back to TDL, because we just re-entered it. On the Stoma, and I'm going to slave on our second slot to make our second split save. Now, unfortunately, I got cursed, which means that we're gonna have to deal with some, like the screen flashing a little bit every time I'm moving. So, if you are sensitive to very mild flashing lights, please beware of the screen. We're gonna have to be dealing with this until I can find a place where I can heal from the curse and, well, have enough money to also to heal from the curse, because these tend to be quite expensive to heal. And as I mentioned, this is the headquarters of the Gaian Church, so we're going to be meeting the leader of the Gaian Church, or well, at least of this little faction of it, which is Echidna. Kind of like a commander-in-chief of the Gaian Church. And Echidna kind of explains the whole deal with the Gaian Church. They don't agree with the Messiah Church. So the thing with the Messiah Church is that they're trying to bring back the 1,000-year kingdom, the God's kingdom. And they say that everyone that helps build a cathedral, which is from where God will descend, can go to heaven. But the Gaian Church knows that they're kind of just overworking all their workers to death, and feels like they're abusing them, and they'd rather have a world where the strong, like only the strong survive. So, you know, we kind of have to pick whichever we want to align ourselves with. They both suck, to be honest. And, well, for this run, we're going to complete both the Law Ending and the Chaos Ending. We start with the Law Ending. So, by killing Echidna, we haven't exactly locked ourselves into Law Ending just yet, but we've definitely locked ourselves out of Chaos Ending. Because we've kind of killed their leader. But so what we do now is we're gonna go into Shinagawa again. We're gonna get through the dungeon. We're going to talk to their leader over on the 3rd floor again, and kind of just say that we're up for helping the law initiative. Can I heal it? I can, in fact. Pleasant surprise. So I managed to heal the curse, which means no more flashing lights, which is very relieving for all of us, including me, because the flashing is quite annoying. But yeah, we're about to lock ourselves into the Law Ending. After this is the Cathedral section, which is still relatively long, mostly because the Cathedral is a very long dungeon. But yeah, we're about to approach our first ending. Oh, I went too far. Money. So, there's still a couple of things we need to do before we start the cathedral. There's a couple items that I need to go pick up. So you're gonna go see me go back and forth between a couple of dungeons. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the Kagutsushi from him and give it to the heroine. Presto. Get us out of here. I'm actually gonna walk into the cathedral. I want to use their terminal. And from there go to the other places that we need to go. So this is a cathedral. This is where the terminal is. So first of all, we're going to teleport to Ikebukuro. I'm going to briefly return Goblin. He has little to no chances of surviving this fight. Let me stumble before I forget. Stairs, and we're going to finally fight Yama. That one demon that imprisoned us earlier. It's a completely optional fight, but we do need it for one of the visionary items. So we're going to be using more gun, sword, and just Kushinada Hime. So the thing with the gun that we're using is that we're using flash bullets, and these are bullets that can inflict the status effect of bind, and when an enemy is bound, he can't do anything. So we just hope that enemies get bound as quickly as possible and as often as possible, and stay bound for as long as possible. That's how these fights go very well. So I got Yama's book, so I'm gonna get out of here. Can't quite use trap words. It just doesn't work in this dungeon. I think it's to prevent us from being able to bypass fighting Nayo. So we have to walk back to the terminal. I'm gonna go into Ueno. It's here. And the shards. Not you. Trap port. Ah. Gonna go into Ginza. We're gonna get to outside of Ginza to go to Tokyo Tower, as there is an item in Tokyo Tower. That should be the last item that I need to get for the cathedral. We have Dock Collar, Idol Shard, Yama's book, Scripture. There's a Scripture. And we can traport. And transfer back to the cathedral. So I'm going to briefly save. Just in case. And as soon as we talk to Law Hero over here, it's going to trigger the big floods. So the big floods is what happens after the Heavenly Kings have fallen. They apparently the barrier that we're holding up also included. What the hell happened to my cursor? Well, whatever the hell that was. As I was saying, the Big Flood was also holding up. Sorry, the Heavenly Kings were holding up the Big Flood, and apparently the viability of my cursor as well. So, as soon as as soon as they fall, the flood happens. So we kind of need a way to get around the world now. So we rescue this octopus that was about to be sacrificed, and that's how we get around the flooded world. So we're now headed to the Tokyo Government Building. For those that remember the Tokyo Government Building, that is the place where the heroine was gonna be sacrificed earlier into the game. It's like half flooded now, but there's still like, it's quite a tall building, so like half of it is still above the water. And we come here. I don't want to take the elevators yet. We come here because Law Hero informs us that there's two gods that are fighting in the Tokyo Government Building. The Law God Vishnu is fighting the Chaos gods Ravana and Indrajit, because they're both kind of fighting with each other, because, you know, there's basically the cathedral is split in half, where the top half is currently being controlled by the Messiah Church, and the bottom half is being controlled by the Gaian Church. And they're both fighting with each other for full control of the cathedral, so they can both put forward their plans. And yeah, aside from that fight, there's apparently also a fight going over here in the Tokyo Government Building that's kind of also perfectly split in half. So yeah, because we're law aligned, we have to go and help Vishnu. As we do so, Vishnu will actually join us as a demon, which is quite useful. He's a strong demon, level 99. He has the Arahan, which is a very strong healing spell. Will be useful. And we have to go and fight Ravana and Indrajit. And as you might imagine, when we do the Chaos Ending later, we're gonna have to go and do the other way around. So we're going to summon our friend Vishnu and Tresto back to the bottom floor. There's a terminal here which I'll bookmark, not saving, but bookmark just for easier travel later. Alright, here's the fight. So I'm actually, instead of using gun, I'm actually going to be throwing this Yonga Stone, because we can kind of get away with doing that. The Hinokagutsuji does so much damage, and this way we know for a fact that we're not going to get hit, because the Chaos here, the hero is faster than any of the demons for now, and that way we can just stun them. And you have no guarantee of binding a demon, but you definitely have a guarantee of stunning them if you hit them first. Later, we're gonna start dealing with boss fights that are absolutely faster than us, so we have no choice but to try and bind them. And there you go. So that was what we need to do here. We're gonna go back into the cathedral and we're actually gonna start our ascent through the cathedral. So one thing I'm going to do is, unfortunately, I have to remove Cerberus from our party because I will need to acquire 3 demons on our ascents. They'll destroy instantly, not having to do recruits or anything. But because we didn't get any comp upgrades, we can only have 6 demons at a time. And right now we have 3, so mathematics. Of all the demons, Cerberus is definitely the one that is, you know, the least useful. It'll be useful for Michael. I'll definitely use it for Michael later. But right now it's one demons that I kind of don't need. So unfortunately, will get removed. Alright, I need to use Stoma again. So as you can see, there's some demons. There are going to be some demons in this part of the game that will bypass Stoma because they're quite high level. There won't be a lot of them, but there will be some of them. And when I do, when I do get into a random encounter, I can use these items called smoke bombs that will automatically make us leave the encounter. They have the same effect as Trafuri that Law Hero had earlier. So we're going to be seeing a lot of the cathedral for the next part of the run. We have to go through it many times. There is unfortunately not that much to say about the cathedral. It's a very big dungeon, very high encounter rate that we can thankfully, for the most part, avoid with the Soma. So yeah, there will be one item that we need to collect here. I think it's right at the top here. No, that was the garden. That wasn't it. Never mind. That wasn't it. Let's kind of forget what it is. Is it this one? Silver cup. That's the one. It's another of the visionary items. And now we're gonna have to get all the way to the top of the cathedral. At the top of the cathedral, the Law Hero will tell us that we need to fuse this item called the Angel Ring in order to fight Asura, which is the demon that's at the bottom of the cathedral that's kind of the leader of the Gaian Church. And in order to fuse the Angel Ring, I need to have 3 angels, which is why I'm obtaining all these angels as I go through the cathedral. Ah. There you go. So it's quite interesting that in other versions of this game, you can actually see the cathedral as this very big tower. But in this version, it kind of just looks like a bunch of towers all divided. Not exactly sure why they took that approach. Feels some kind of limitation of the GBA. But you know, it is... as much as I don't necessarily prefer the overworld of this game, which was changed from other versions, I do appreciate them making something different. I feel like nowadays Atlas plays it very safe with making changes to their games, and I feel like they could benefit from more change. In fact, in the beginning people are very annoying with changes, but then later on they learn to appreciate, you know, the attempt at least. Alright, this is the top of the cathedral. Talk to Law Hero. And now we're going to teleport back to the middle, kind of. And we're going to use a terminal to transfer back to the Tokyo government building. Because we need to go and now actually properly fuse the angel ring. And the building in which we can fuse the angel ring is just a little closer to the Tokyo government building than it is to the cathedral, so it saves a little bit of time to transfer here. There's the building. Very inconspicuous building. You'd almost think you can't enter it from the outside. There you go. Alright, we have fused the angel ring, so we can go back to the cathedral. And now we are headed to our first ending. We can descend all the way down to the cathedral. The way that it has to be done is that there is one more item that we're going to be collecting on our way down. It's called the Lily Bouquet. It is dropped by one of the boss fights that we're still gonna have to be doing. And after we get that item, we actually have to go back to the terminal and save. This is very unfortunate because that means that we have to go all the way down to the last floor of the cathedral twice. It really makes a difference on the time. It's a little annoying, but it has to be done because if you don't save, the item isn't saved. Like, you just don't keep the item. We need to have all of them, obviously. So as you might imagine, there is not a lot to say about the descent of the cathedral. I'm kind of just focusing on going as fast as possible. So in this section we need to get poisoned because... oh, that's perfect. Basically the upcoming boss fight, the one that will drop that one item I mentioned, has a chance of charming us, but they can't charm us if we already have another status effect inflicted. So by getting poisoned there, I can prevent having to deal with the charm. And charm is very dangerous because as soon as you're charmed, you just start attacking your own party, and we kinda can't resist the power of the Hino Kagutsushi when it's used against us. Alright, here's the fight. Using our gun or swords. Attack with fishing. And now we auto. As Chaos Hero, our friend. As you might imagine, he's not particularly happy with us siding with the Law faction, so we need to feed him now. Not only him, but also his girlfriend / partner thing. Rie, who's actually Lilith. She's the one that kidnapped the heroine in the run and everything. But there you go. Easy fights. There we get the Lily Bouquet, and we have to turn around. And unfortunately, Traplets. Traffic, I'm going to use the Stelma. And we go and save. So now we're just gonna descend back through the cathedral. Just gonna readjust it. And this time actually fight the last boss fight and finish the law ending. Now we don't have to get poisoned since we already got past that fight. Here we go. Use the angel ring, get past the door, and off we go to our last boss fight. Now, our last boss fight is Asura. Asura is quite a strong fight. The strategy here is going to try and bind him as quickly as possible so that we can then summon Goblin. Okay, he looks bound. And we want Goblin in order to use Tarokaja. If we can't use Tarokaja, this fight gets a bit more unpleasant. So hopefully he'll stay bound for quite a while. You know what, Kushinari, you attack as well. And now we auto. Okay, that is one more. Okay, it's gone again. I'm going to take it, you know, be safe and just heal. Should be close to dying though. Oh, he bound again. Perfect. I'm doing a lot of damage, as you can see. There you go. And that is the first ending done. That is Asura defeated. As soon as we enter the credits, the game will have considered the law ending done, so I will be turning off the console. I'm playing on a DS. And I'll be reloading save. Just start the credits and find guy. There you go. So not only am I playing on a DS, which is allowed for the boards, as you might imagine, it's just a normal GBA player. I'm also playing with an EverDrive, so we're gonna have to go through an extra menu. This is also allowed for the boards. There you go. This is the reason why I can even play with the English patch, as I mentioned before. There's not an official cartridge of this game in English. And there you go, that is the law ending done. And now we can go and start our chaos ending. We'll just go straight into it. So we're back here. First thing we need to do is we are gonna go and talk to Echidna again. As you saw, I'm back to being cursed. So I apologize once again for flashing. So we're going to talk to Echidna, but this time we're actually going to side with Echidna. We're going to agree with the terms, and we're going to be fighting the leader of the Law faction instead. There we go, here we are. Hear the explanation, we don't want to hear it again, so we say no, and then we say yes because we want to accept the terms. So now that we side with Echidna, we're gonna have to go to Shinagawa to actually defeat the I say, to defeat the law guys. There is one chest that we're gonna grab here because it's spawned. Since we this one, this is the child's book. This is one of the first items that have now spawned because we've completed the law ending. It's kind of our little reward for completing the law ending. So now we'll come here and talk to Hanyo, and Hanyo is not going to be very happy about, hearing that we sided with Echidna. So he kind of just starts fighting us right away. And so we fight. We can just auto because our actions are already set from the fight that we did before in the save. So we just hit with our very strong Hinokagutsushi. We use our his Yonga stones, and we just kind of breeze through this. And after having done this, we go back to TDO. So I'm going to try to. I think I could teleport actually. I could have teleported, but this is fine. And hopefully I'll be able to afford healing the curse. No, I have no money. But basically we have to go and talk to Echidna again to just give her the good news that we defeated Anyo. So back to this wonderful pink dungeon. Funnily enough, we can actually go back on our word and be like, actually, never mind, we don't want to age you anymore. But we want to, so we do. And because we sided with Chaos, with the Chaos side, we are allowed to go through this bridge to the cathedral. And that's where we're headed now. So once again, we are going to enter the cathedral. This time for the Chaos side, because the first floor also is divided into Chaos and Law sides. I'm going to be talking over here to the good old Chaos Hero. And this makes the flood happen once again. So we are left with needing ways of getting through Flood Tokyo. And coincidentally, on the Chaos side, they were also about to sacrifice this turtle. Or sell. I think this is a merchant, so we're trying to sell the turtle. We kind of just threatened the merchant into giving us the turtle. And so off we go. So before we head to the Tokyo government building, I actually need to stop by the law side so we can buy those smoke bombs that let us run away from random encounters. As you might imagine, we're still going to face quite a few random encounters as we traverse the cathedral once again. And also because I need to go and grab this one item, this one visionary item. This curse is so annoying. And it's just much easier to access the visionary item. In fact, I think it's basically only possible to access this visionary item if you get there through the law side. So, buy some more smoke bombs. And off we go. Go. This is one of the few routes that I saw the tracker appearing again. I don't like that. It's one of the few routes that I don't know the way to very well, because this is not something that you really do in any other category other than this one. The only reason why you'd ever come here in any other version of the game is to get this demon called Gameboy. If you're trying to complete all of the demons of like the demon analysis, and the only people that have ever done that are people that do retro achievements, and there's a specific achievement to do that, to get all the demons analyzed. Or the one time I did a kill 'em all run where I tried to kill all types of demons and I need to kill Gameboy. Alright, that is the item I needed, so I'm gonna get out of here. Now we head to the Tokyo government building. So the good news is that after defeating Ravan and Nidrajit, I'll definitely have enough money to heal the curse. The bad news is that until I defeat Ravan and Nidrajit, I will not have enough money to heal the curse. Alright, so this time we go through the right side first. This is because we'll be able to actually get one to join us. So I won't be summoning Ravana just yet, because I'm kind of scared that if I summon, then I won't have enough money to then heal the curse. And we don't really need Ravana for the upcoming fight. I will, however, need to return Goblin. It's quite vital. I'm going to use my cut. Turn one last time. And return Goblin. And there's Vishnu. So Vishnu, I hadn't given the Hinokagutsushi yet. That's not great. That's really not very good. So Vishnu resists Zionga, so I kinda can't use Zionga. So I kinda just have to have my characters not die. You know what, I'll take it easy. And I'll see how much damage he's doing. And if I need to heal, I'll just stop to heal at some point. There you go, it's fine. It was fine. Nothing to worry about. Basically, we're kind of in a delicate situation right here where if Kusanada Hime dies, we can't resummon her because she's law lines and we're in chaos. So yeah, but no, she didn't die. We're fine. So first things first, I'm gonna stop by the guy in church with right here, heal this annoying curse. There you go. Heal Kusanada's Hime's MP. And let me just see what is the price. It's a little too expensive. I'll have enough money before the last boss fight. Because there is one fight before. But for now, we're going to descend the cathedral. That is not the right way. So the way that the chaos ending works is a little different from the law ending, in which that in the law ending all you need to do is you go up, you get all the angels, you go and fuse the angel ring on that other building that's far away, and then you go down and use the angel ring and you defeat Asura. In the chaos ending, you have to go all the way down to talk to Asura, now as your friend and ally, and he says that, oh, I need these like 3 items from my colleagues. Can you please go and get them? So you have to go all the way back to the middle of the cathedral, go all the way down and get the items, and then he'll fuse the demon ring. So you might be wondering, oh, can't you just get them the first time you're going down? And unfortunately, the answer is no. If you talk to them, they'll just be like, oh, cool to see you here. Nothing to give to you, and they just send you off on your way. So you are obligated to always go down the cathedral twice, and this is the main reason why the chaos ending is and always will be slower than the law ending, and why the law ending has become the main category for all SMT runs. So this game isn't a particularly popular game as a speedrun. as aren't many of the Mega 10 games. They're quite a niche, even within RPGs. But of all the categories, Law is definitely the one that has the most runners. Well, if we exclude any percent, but any percent is a 20-minute run that involves some heavy glitching. So it's more popular simply because it's not as difficult or as long of a run. But yeah, not only that, but Chaos Ending also fights Maiko instead of Asura, and Maiko is a little bit more difficult. Maiko hits very hard, very often, and yeah, it's just a lot easier to die to Maiko compared to Asura. I would know, as I have lost many a run to Maiko. I have to use an amulet here as Kushinada Hime is still law lines, and basically there's just a bunch of damage tiles on this floor, and they deal damage depending on your alignment. So if you're Chaos aligned, they don't do any damage, but if you're neutral or law, they do. And right now our main characters are Chaos aligned because we're doing a Chaos ending, but Kushinada Hime is still a law line demon. And when we go for the upper floors, you'll see me use one again because well, at that point it will be Kushinada Hime who will be the right alignment, but our main characters aren't. So here we meet the Chaos Hero again, and Rie, that reveals herself as Lilith, gives us the Belial pot. And we go and talk to Asura. And there you go, we're kindly informed that we actually need to go back and grab all these items, so we're gonna go and do that. Oh, almost forgot to talk to Cert. So, yeah, it should be good. Hopefully I remember to talk to all of them. And there you go, we gotta talk to all these little demons. Usually if you're the opposite alignment of them, you will fight them. So right now, if I went and talked to the angels that I talked to earlier, I would have to fight them. But when you're the same alignment, you're required to do this little almost side quest, you could call it, in order to complete the ending. In the all bosses run, we have to fight all of these demons, as you might imagine. It's quite an interesting category, all bosses. This run almost does all bosses. We skip only a handful. We skip the police station that the Law Hero had told us about at some point, as you know, that there was a whole situation going on over there. We skip 2 of the Devil Summoners. There's actually 2 more. We only did 2, but there's 4 total. And we skip all of these angels. I think that's about it. We do Nayo, we do Yama, and we are going to have to do the 2 remaining Heavenly Kings after we complete the Chaos Ending, so I think that's actually the only 2 that we don't do in this run. Right, the final one. There you go. And now we go and talk to Asura again. Asura is actually the one that will be fusing the demon ring. He kind of just has that power. Kind of sucks that Michael wouldn't, but we don't even see Michael in the law ending. He doesn't even have the decency to come talk to us. He's just too high and mighty. We just talk to the law hero instead. Sorry now. There is one thing I need to check before I start my ascent. First of all, I need to save. Save. Destiny, no. Save here. Ah, that's kind of what I was hearing. Okay. So I kind of missed an item, and I was hoping I'd be able to get it on the neutral ending, but apparently I was like, you know what, I should check if it's not one of those items that only spawn in the chaos ending, and it is. So we're gonna have to do a little small detour before we go into the Michael fight. Just go back to the Tokyo government building. Shouldn't take us too long to get there. But you know, I'm glad at least I realized this before I got out of the chaos ending, and I would have had to get all the way back to chaos, and yeah, it would have taken longer, that's for sure. So not only are there items that are depending on NG+, there's some that need NG+, and you need to be a specific alignment. So for this one, the item just will not spawn if you're not Chaos aligned. And after this, after we complete the Chaos ending, I will be neutral aligned. That's the final alignment I need to do in order to get the few items that I'm missing. So I can't. It's not here. Whoops. I won't be able to get it on the neutral alignment. Come on, I know it's here. There it is, megaphone. Alright, now I got the items that I need to get. Let's go and fight Michael. I'm gonna have to save again, because I need to make sure that the item is saved into the cartridge. Then I'm just gonna use the stoma again, because I don't remember if I used it. I have. Using the stoma is one of those actions that you do so subconsciously that your brain immediately erases whether or not you'd already done it. So sometimes you see me use stoma twice in a row. In fact, I know I've done that quite a few times already in this run. Another thing that I should probably do before I forget it, and since I'm already starting the ascent, is I should probably give the sword to the heroine. Yes, I'm glad I remembered that before I got to the law hero fight. I feel like it would have been a little too late by that point. There you go, now we just ascend. Just a nice ascend, what do you say that? Ascension, just a nice ascension to the top of the cathedral. Michael is yeah, Michael will be okay. It's a peaceful fight, you know, Michael, you know Michael. Oh. That's my bad, I got confused which floor I was in. My brain just started assuming I was ascending the cathedral with how many times I've already ascended the cathedral today. As you can see, the game takes a little to load back the cathedral. That's how big of a dungeon it is. The poor GBA can't handle it. Using our amulet. This is where I get random encounters again. It's always just on this floor, basically. Fenrir. All right. Now we use a demon ring to open the door, but as we're trying to go past the door, Chaos Hero explodes. Because Law Hero just uses Homunculus or something. So I have to fight Law Hero now. He actually got preemption, look at this guy. So this is a gun sword fight, so you know how it goes. Nice. Bound first turn. Really? That has never happened. Really? You really killed the heroine. I was like, should I stop auto? Surely not. Surely this will be fine, I said to myself. Foolishly. Well, so that's not ideal for many reasons. One of them being that now she's not gonna have a lot of HP against one of the fights that you really want to have a lot of HP against. I can revive her. I'll be fine for the fight. Don't get me wrong. I have a Soma. I can even make sure we have enough. Actually, I don't have a Soma. Never mind. But I can go and get a Soma. Like I can just like go past this door and grab a Soma. There's literally one outside of this door. Like I just have to deal with like these two little random encounters popping up. Yeah, this is a very unusual situation, let me tell you. I can't remember the last time the heroine died to Law Hero. Well, now we know. You know, this is one of those reminders. Sometimes you gotta remind yourself that you can never get too confident. I was just like, oh, whatever. Her health is low, but surely she won't die. When's the heroine ever died to Law Hero? Nobody dies to Law Hero. Well, until the day someone dies to Law Hero. But that's fine. Michael will be a dangerous fight. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. A little scared of Michael. I'm gonna take it very slowly. And there is a relatively safe way to do it, which is just that I will be waiting until he gets bound, and so I will not be autoing quite as much as I would have normally, but hopefully this is a good, safe way of making sure that he doesn't kill us. Him killing us would be not as nice. Alright, gun, no, you just attack. You just use the Arahan on our guy A, defend. Gun, attack. The Arahan, I'm going to return Kushina that he made. Or, that's also a nice way of, you know, the demon getting returned, I guess. Attack. No, might even the Arahan Cerberus. Or, you know, maybe Cerberus will die. That is also an option. Basically, what we're trying to do right now is just trying to bind Michael. He has quite high stats, so this can take a while. And then we just kind of hope that he stays bound for as long as possible. He dodged, that's so rare. I'm going to kill my hero. Okay. Alright. Now we just cross our fingers, basically. Needs to use one pentagram, and you please heal yourself. I'm actually going to take one more safe turn. And now I'll cast the auto. Well, finger on the B button so I can up auto as soon as possible if needed. If we get lucky, he'll just stay bound the entire time and we get through this. Alright, whew. Okay, that is Chaos ending. I hate doing Michael. Michael is such a scary fight. Okay, so we've completed both of our endings. So now we're gonna once again load back the save at TDL and align ourselves with neutral. So we're gonna wait for a guy to show up, and there you go. Turn off the console. Alright, we got through that. That was scary for a moment. Alright. So now we have a bunch of items that we need to go and pick up. And a bunch of things we need to do. First of all, we need to shift our alignment ever so slightly to Chaos. Otherwise, we will not get an option to... I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. Oh no, not this. I have to go and get money somehow. What can I sell? High cut armor. And sell the sky heels. I think what I'll have to do is basically I'll just have to go and fight again the first. And then shift my alignment a little bit more to Chaos after, because I'll need the money. So yeah, now I need to be neutral aligned. I'm back to being cursed, of course. And now we have to basically stay neutral aligned so we can have some more items spawn. We're gonna get the items that have spawned because we completed the Chaos ending, and we're gonna get the items that spawn because we're neutral aligned. In order to get neutral aligned, we're gonna have to defeat both Echidna and Hani. And then go back to the cathedral. The good old cathedral, still there waiting for us. Alright. Kinda just thinking of which fights I need to do to see if I can get some money. So what do I need to do? What do I need to do? I can go and do the Heavenly Kings. Or I can go and fight Yama. You know, I've already teleported to Ikebukuro, so now I'm kind of compelled to do that. So first of all, I'm going to transfer the Kagutsushi to Heroine. And I'm going to return Goblin. We have to go and fight Yama once again. Yama actually drops another visionary item if you fight him on NG+. So here we go again, gun, sword, defense. I do have enough money to go do the fights now. But I might just heal my curse first. Ah, that's the exit. Whoops. How much does it cost? Oh, it's so expensive. That's complicated. That is complicated. Trying to think what I can do to solve these money problems. I'm afraid that not sure if doing the game once will be enough to keep my alignment into neutral. But we'll see. Right, that's one. I once again don't have enough money, so I can't go do it again. And I'm gonna go to Shibuya. What I can do here is I can actually try and get some of the rewards from the reward houses. I forgot to use this stuff. That's okay, I'm more than high level enough to be able to run away from these enemies. Go, defeated one more Heavenly King. You actually don't drop any money, which is unfortunate. Well, it'll give me enough money to do the alignment again, which is better than nothing. Alright, that should help with my alignment a little bit more. I did just think of a place that I can go that should give me some things I can sell for money. So I'm gonna go to Ginza. And you know, after that I can hopefully just go and do the neutral ending. I do need to go to Roppongi still, but I can do that after Hanyu. what, I'm actually gonna go down first. Should be another reward house here. Is it any other than Lumen or any other than Full? I'm not sure. I'm just gonna enter. Right, we get another wizard mask. That should be more than enough money. Can just enter here. Go. I don't know. I still know. Transport back to TDL. Stoma. Go back through the door. Sell the magician mask. There you go. Now we have money. And now I can kind of just go back and forth inside of the guy in church until it looks like they're not gonna charge me every time I come in. I'm hesitant because I think because I fought Yama so early, it might have put me even further into law than I already was. That's not ideal. I really just don't want to walk into Hanyo and then realize that my line was too far law and it's not possible. So I'm gonna just do this a couple of times. And hopefully I should be able to fight Hanyo afterwards. And actually just buy some more amulets as well. Maybe 3 more and then I'll go. You know, I hope that just works, otherwise, well, we could be in a bit of a complicated situation. Might have to load back my save, which would really not be ideal. Alright, let's see if we get the option. Or if we're just forced into law, I mean. No, alright. Perfect. Phew! Alright, that is very good. Now, because we defeated both of them, we are forcefully locked into neutral ending. That's exactly what we needed, exactly what we wanted. It's perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna trap work again actually. Transfer back to Shinagawa. And I need to do some shopping. Need to buy this one item, need to go and defeat the other Heavenly King. So I need a Ball of Life. Now we need to go outside. This is our last Heavenly King. With this we'll have defeated all 4 of them. Which kinda need to access one of the visionary items. Alright, now I'm going to make a small stop by Roppongi. There's actually a small side quest that we have to do there, where basically Law Hero, the late Law Hero, had a girlfriend and she disappeared. She got kidnapped by Goto because she had the same name as the heroine. And Goto thought it was a good idea, to find out who the heroine was, to just kidnap every girl that he saw that had the same name as the heroine. And so she's still here, and she's been turned into a zombie, and she really doesn't want to be a zombie anymore. So we end her life by using a Balm of Life and basically make her go on into, you know, the afterlife. And if we do that. Oh, the item is in here. That's concerning. I will see that. Right, okay. There is one thing I overlooked, but you know, I'll move on for now. Yeah, okay, I gotta think about this. Yeah, okay, I have an idea. Anyways, where would we go now? Ginza. We got the red headband, and now we have to head into the cathedral. So because we defeated both Echidna and Hanyo, we actually need to go through the that's the wrong way. We need to go through the cathedral through a completely different path. There is actually another way to get to the cathedral through Ginza, and the old man, because we're neutral line, will let us through. So that's what we're going to do. That's the way we're going to get there. So now in the cathedral, we don't actually need to complete any ending, thankfully. So we don't actually need to fight Asura or Michael or anything. We just need to fight Lilith. So we're gonna have to go all the way down and fight Lilith. So first we're gonna do is both the Law Hero and the Chaos Hero are kind of here. So we talk to them, the flood happens. And now... Can I just trap word? I might be able to. Trap word to the top. Yes. So now... we need, well, the flood happens, so once again we need a demon to be able to float through the flood of Tokyo. And press the works. Yes. So, as per usual, we're gonna go to the Tokyo Government Building. But before we go to the Tokyo Government Building, we actually have to make a small pit stop at another dungeon called Masakado's Building. I'm actually gonna open the map for that one. I'm very bad at navigating that dungeon. It's one of the few dungeons that I really have a hard time dealing with. And, well, the way this dungeon works, it's kind of just a bunch of corridors with trap tiles, but this is why I have all these amulets. Amulets prevent you from getting hit from trap tiles. In a specific floor, we just use one per floor. Alright, and now we talk to Masakado. He was awaiting us. He thinks that we can finally settle the rift between law and chaos and bring about a world of peace, stuff like that. And there you go, because we talked to him, now another item spawns in Tokyo Tower. Tokyo Tower was just that building that was like, not building really, no, just that tower that was mostly flooded that we just passed. So we're just gonna hop on there very quickly. Oh, I always enter the terminal accidentally when I actually want to just grab this. There you go. Alright. Try Esto, and now we head to the Tokyo Government Building. So now when you're neutral, you actually only need to fight one of the demons. So we're only gonna go and fight Vishnu. Now we're here. Before we go and fight, we actually need to go and talk to Law Hero and Chaos Hero one more time. The fights won't spawn, like the door just won't open unless you go in and you talk to them. So we go and... I'm going the wrong way. So we go and talk to them. And now we go to the fight. Resto. That will put us back in Tokyo Government Building. I took a wrong turn. Alright, Vishnu. What can I say about Vishnu that you don't already know? Vishnu resists young stuff, so we're not gonna be using them. Gun, sword, and just hope that Hime doesn't die. We kind of don't want her to die. And there you go. Okay, so now we go back to the cathedral, and this is going to be our final time going down the cathedral. So now we only need to collect 2 more items in this alignment. One of the items is right on the floor, the first floor below the ground floor, you know, here. It's like right around the corner. There you go. And the other one is dropped by Lilith once we defeat her. So that means that we have to go all the way down the cathedral again. That's okay though. I'm going the wrong way again. That is okay. Just have to fight both. Talk to both of these guys now. And we're gonna go all the way down the cathedral again. And then we're done with this part. And then we have to do the miscellaneous parts, which I'll explain once we get there. Alright, we're almost there. And there you go. Here's the fight that we need to do. Ooh, he got our guy. Ooh, right, I didn't really get poisoned. Yeah, I didn't really get poisoned. That was quite a decision. Right. That was very smart. You can tell I'm getting tired because I forgot to get poisoned. Forgot the whole reason why we're here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to summon Cerberus. Just to have an extra demon dealing some damage. Or summon Recarm. There you go. Well, one more fight. Now we just kind of need Bind to hit very quickly. As soon as we defeat the Lilith, Lilith is like relatively easy to defeat if you don't get bound or charmed. There you go. We got it. Nothing to worry about. Right, now she drops the Black Moon, and we're kind of done with the neutral ending. So we're going to exit, and we are going to go and save. We have to save these two items that we just obtained. Obviously. And now we kind of have many options that we can do. What I'm going to do first, I think, is I'm going to load back or third split save. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Before our split save that we have loaded back so many times, the one in TDL, there are other items that will actually spawn. Other items that have now spawned because we've completed both the Law and the Chaos end. But because we only load back as far as Tokyo Destiny Land, then that means that all the items that are in pre-apocalypse Tokyo, in Kongo Shinkai, and in the early game, you know, in Kishijoji, don't really spawn again. So this is why we made the split save so early, so that we can actually now go and get all these other items. I think 4 is enough. So now we're back to this point in the game, and to give you a recap of what's going on in this point in the game, we still have one demon that we need to get, and we're kind of in the middle of the fight between Thorman and Goto. We don't have a Stoma, so you're gonna see random encounters again, and what else is there? What else is new? This time we have to defeat both of them. That's probably the biggest one. We already have a Dryad, can just talk to her. There is one demon that if I encounter it, I might try to go for, which is called Qsif. Qsif's only skill is Tresto, which automatically teleports you out of dungeon. So if you get it, and you get it relatively quickly, it's actually a very useful demon to have. But if it doesn't spawn, I'll just walk it. It's really no big deal. Oh well, there you go. There's a Q-Siv. I don't have... I'll try one more time with the Rise Run. Well, it wasn't meant to be. So, in order to fight both Goto and Thor, you actually have to talk to Thor first. And then go talk to Goto. And then come back to Thor. Ah, second chance. Oh no, I ran away. That was an accident. That was not intentional. That was a misclick. Again, that demon is not really necessary. You can walk just fine. The encounter rate's not terribly high in this version of the game, compared to other ones at least. And it's you know, I don't really know what to say. It's just the truth. It's just not that high. So here in Goto's War, there's two items we have to get. We have to get the secret rules, which are on the first floor below ground, and we have to get the item that Goto drops as a boss fight. That's the secret rules. And now we're gonna go and fight him, but before we fight him, I need an Azumi. Perfect timing. Just checking if I didn't actually have a lifestyle. Thank you, Azumi. I love you, Azumi. Alright, we got our newly acquired Azumi. We're gonna put it on front. We got our Pyrojack. We got our Goblin. And now we're going to fight Goto. Alright, so the way we fight Goto is we're going to use some of those holy waters that we got earlier. And yeah. And then we're kind of just going to attack with our other demons for now. I kind of just don't want to... I don't want to use all of their MP right away. 2 points into intelligence. Kill. And there you go. And then the way we fight Goto is the good old way of just using Mazio, using Makakaja, and yeah. So Mazio, I'll just be a bit more conservative with my MP usage than I normally am because I'm gonna have to fight Thor right away. So now I'm going to instead use a Hamaya. That didn't actually kill. I was hoping that would kill. There you go. And now Goto will drop the STF unit pin, which is the item that we needed. And off we go. I'm going to return my demons, except for Azumi. Azumi is Chaos aligned, and right now we are Law aligned because we defeated Goto, which means that I won't be able to resummon it. But because I kind of want Azumi in the next fight, I'll just not unsummon it. Azumi is not that slow that he brings down our speed average that much, so I should be able to run away from most encounters. There's one encounter that might be a little sketchy, but hopefully I just don't get it. Bachan is fine. It's Kusif again. Unfortunately, I don't really need Kusif anymore, so I kind of forgot some of my demons. It's gonna be a sketchy fight. Okay, I'll have to summon mid-fight. It's never ideal. Well, Goblin most of all. Mazio. Theo. Gonna summon my Pyrojack. Mazio. Theo. I'll just take like a slow fight. What I'm gonna do now is, instead of autoing, I'm actually gonna return Azumi. And I'm going to summon Jack Frost instead. And of course he killed the Jack Frost. Well, kind of have a choice. I mean, there is other demons I can summon, I guess, but I can summon back. Can summon. Yeah, that's right. You know what? We'll just have to make it work. Ah, that is not enough. That is wonderful. I wonder how far away from dying it is. Yeah, of course. Try it. Done. Okay, it was close to dying. I had a hope and feeling and a hope that he was close to dying. But I'm glad to have had that confirmed. Alright, so now as you know, what happens now is we're gonna get thrown into Kongo Shinkai. In Kongo Shinkai there is one item that we need, which is the reason why we're gonna go there in the first place. I basically just need to get my friends back, get through the Soma, and then go grab the item, and then save, and then we can load another save. And we're one step closer to the end of the run. So in this save, so to say, there won't be any more fights. So if you remember this dungeon, we went through here and we fought Red Phantom. And you know, the whole thing about, you know, making the suspended save and everything was exactly to prevent what I would have had to do now, which would be fighting both Red Phantom and Blue Phantom. So I don't even really need to collect my demons or anything, because all I have to do now is just go straight for the Soma Fountain and then go and collect the item. Actually gonna do one safety save here, just on the very off chance that I mess up somewhere. Like I accidentally walk into the fight or something. Something stupid like that, you never know. You never know what your brain is gonna do at the end of the run. And alright, this is the item. That's what I needed. Now I just have to walk back and save. And then I will reset, and I have two options. So now that we're gonna save, we have two more basically split saves that we need to load. We have the suspended one, in which we're going to load right in front of one of the items that we need. And then I have to walk into another dungeon to grab this one other item that I also need. And I have to also start a whole new save file to get one item at the initial arcade in the beginning of the game. And to get one item from Doman. And so I'm not sure, it kind of doesn't matter which one, there's no a faster option. So I think maybe I'll just load the suspended save, and then I'll do the new game one. Suspended save has a couple more steps, so just kind of more places where you can accidentally mess up. Maybe it's better to get it out of the way. So load the save. Walk into here, grab this item. Perfect. Now we're gonna get out of the dungeon and we're gonna walk to Roppongi. Well, before we do that, we actually have to go to Shinjuku, but so we're gonna go through here. I'm probably gonna use Stoma because I assume Stoma needs to be recast. I'm gonna just double check that I got this gem, but I know for a fact that I did. And we fall over here. Now, walk to Shinjuku. So the reason why we have to stop by Shinjuku is because we have to exchange one of the gems that we got in Shibuya for an item, the Balm of Life. That one item that I chopped briefly. I hadn't realized one thing. The way I routed, I'd routed it so that you can buy the item and you go into a Pongi, and that is supposed to make one of these items spawn. But in my previous run, I routed in a different way where I was including some more fights, so I had to reroute, but I hadn't had time to actually finish a run with the reroute, so I didn't realize that one of the items that spawns after you do that sequence needs to have Law Hero in the party. So this is basically the only save I had where Law Hero was still in the party and I still had access to that dungeon, and thankfully there is a way to get access to this one item that is not even purchasable at this point in the game. But because if you exchange a diamond at the rec store, you can get a Balm of Life. That's the one way we could get it. So now we're gonna just very briefly go for Roppongi. We won't even get past this first floor. We just have to go back into the disco. Make sure the heroine goes into the afterlife, and that should spawn the item. And after this I can quit, make another suspended save, just so I can start the new save. We use it. There you go. And we get the item. There you go, chipped cup. Now before I make the suspended save, I have to actually go and make a proper save. Can't forget to do that. Otherwise it will not get saved into the cartridge. I'll have to load back to save and save again. There you go. And now we quit. Alright, last part of the game. Last part of the game, which involves us starting a new file. This is why it's such a weird category. So we're gonna do the exact same stats as before. There's not exactly a better, more optimized way of doing this just for this section. Our path is very simple now. We just need to defeat Doman, basically. We have to grab this one item from the arcade and defeat Doman. Which means that we'll do Orias, we'll defeat our mother again, and we'll do the exact same strats, just throw Hames, that's the fastest and most consistent one. And then we defeat Doman, we save, there's a terminal right in front of him, and that's when the time ends. The time ends on the last save with all of the visionary items obtained. So I think I will finish quite underestimate, even though this was quite a janky run. I think the reroute was a lot faster than I assumed it was gonna be. So, well, sometimes that kind of just happens, isn't that right? I apologize to the UKSG staff for being bad at making estimates after a reroute, especially after a reroute. Because the thing is that in general this run was pretty good. The recruits were good, the law ending was great, the chaos ending went fine, we had one hiccup in the law ending by me forgetting that one item that was like a 2.5-minute loss. And then we had like struggled a little with alignment in the neutral ending. Might have lost like just a couple of minutes as well, and then the rest of it went fine. Yeah, the Chaos Hero and the Law Hero fights were a little slow because I forgot to get poisoned, but you know, just small optimizations that could be done for another run. For a marathon run, it was fine. It was quite a good run, a bit too good in fact. SMT1 has such a reputation for being so bad for marathon runs that I always expect the worst, especially with recruits. So yeah, I guess I can almost just start doing my outro, since I've already said everything I need to say about this part of the game. We've already been there. We were here 3 hours and 30 minutes ago. So yeah, for anyone interested that found this game interesting or was likes Megami Tensei games and was like, no, maybe I thought about speedrunning, but you're not sure about it. Like, you heard the reputation that like the games are so difficult. Surely the speedruns are so difficult. Like, that's not true. The games are really not that difficult once you get to know them, and the speedrun knows them very well in and out. So we can get through them relatively quickly. There's some dangerous moments, as we've seen. But for the most part, it's kind of funny me to talk about how this game is easy immediately while Hero dies. For the most part, the runs are very nice. Everyone in the community is very accommodating. We're always happy to help any new runners. And there's so many games that you can pick and choose from. There's basically a game for any gamer. Like, and I guess the one we don't have is like a first-person shooter. We don't have any first-person shooters yet. I wouldn't be surprised if Atlas comes up with something like that at this point. But yeah. So yeah, if you're interested in speedrunning, please join the Discord server. We're currently trying to do more events and highlight more of the community. And we'd be very happy to have more runners. You don't have to run this weird category. You can run better categories. You can just run... If you want to run SMT1, oh my god, there's so many resources. So many resources, so many people happy to help. And so many categories that you can run. You can even run this any percent SFC, I wouldn't even judge. So yeah, so we're back to the hospital. We're gonna just defeat Orius very quickly. There's only basically one thing that can go wrong with this fight, which is you get put to sleep and then you can't hit him on time, and that usually doesn't happen. Alright, we head to the arcade, grab one of our last items as well. There is one right here. Right, then we go over here into the little cafe. Lots of tables at this cafe. And we grab the snake charm. Oh. Now we're gonna go back home. defeat our poor mother. Get our dog again, our dog is back. I'm gonna just save, just on the very off chance that we die to Doman. And we just have to do one more brief stop at the Inokashira Park to buy some more Hameyas. There we go, off to our last boss fight. One last random encounter. And there you go. Use 2 Hameyas and Doman dies. Right? Right. And there you go, Doman is defeated. He will now drop the last of the items. The Moshi Jizo, which is like a type of statue. And time will stop after the save. So thank you so much UKSG for inviting me. It was my pleasure to showcase this very bizarre run. Thank you for letting me do such a weird category. And yeah, always happy to get to showcase. That one reports. Always happy to get to showcase SM1 on the marathon. So for verification purposes, this will be the last thing I need to show. I will need to go and open the list. This is already beyond the time. Visionary, I just need to like scroll through it very quickly. And then it's the verification, like it's the verifier's job to actually go through it relatively slowly and check if all the items are there. And there you go. This is all the visionary items. And basically what happens is that you can click on one of them and you see we have like this tiny little cutscene for each of these items. And that's the visionary items. So yeah, thank you so much UKSG. It was my pleasure to showcase the run. I will be not taking any more time. Once again, join the Mega 10 speedrunning community if you're interested in the games. If not, just please enjoy the marathon. And yeah, that was me. Bye bye.